Hey, welcome back, guys. All right. Okay, so I'm playing around with some new things. Okay, so forgive the sound effects I'm adding to the show, just to spice it up, just for you. So let's jump into the videos we have to cover today. And before I begin, happy Father's Day to all the men out there. Happy Father's Day. All right. Now, this is for the men, the real men, who don't want to abandon their responsibilities to their country, and they don't want their countries to be overrun by people who had no hand, whose ancestors ruined their own countries, and now they're moving over to your country to ruin yours. Okay, so we are celebrating all the men out there who are holding the line, who are standing for truth, justice, and the American way. Okay, so thank you so much, and we're going to be jumping right in. Welcome, gardening. Great to see you. I hope you guys had a restful weekend. So welcome to the first stream of the week. All right, so let's jump right in. Okay, so the police just released images of the knife used by Carmelo Anthony to murder Austin Metcalf. And Crockett said, this isn't a deadly weapon.
Was it a switch? I don't know what he had.
It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army.
Like with like with the little scissors and everything and whatever. So it was small. Well, I would have argued the size of it alone, you wouldn't even think it's a deadly weapon.
And that's forgot he had the bag.
If it was one of the little, like I don't know, like I do think.
Well, that's why he went to his coach and was like, but I don't think I hurt him that bad.
Wait a minute, was it a switch? I don't know what he.
By that logic, okay, if a 4-wheeler or an 18-wheeler kills someone in traffic or on the highway, they get a larger prison sentence than if a sedan killed someone on the highway. That's the retarded logic that Jasmine Crockett is trying to sell, okay? It's a bunch of crock, okay? Pun intended. All right. So now, Black people who have essentially been brainwashed by, race and the Democrat race baiting politics, are claiming that Black people founded America. Let's have a listen.
Thinking about all the ways that Black people are the real founders of this country and all that we've done to produce this multiracial democracy.
Okay, this woman is meant to be the NAACP-LDF president. All right, so if she's the president and that is the kind of logic that she is using to impart her position on things in the world, then it should tell you a whole lot about that organization. Meanwhile, you know how I've been talking about how Democrats have actors or coaches coach them about how to act in front of the cameras. Here's Pennsylvania Democrat congressional candidate Bob Brooks and Pete Buttigieg caught being coached on how to be authentic when interviewing about his race. Okay, now let's have a listen.
We're gonna have a really normal conversation with 3 cameras pointing at you.
Everybody act normal.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I mean, we have a healthy amount of time, and so Pete, I think it'd be great. Kick it off how you normally would. Thanks for having me here, and also thanks for getting the race. Like, what brought you here? However you sort of want to ask the questions of why is Bob running, why this race? Like, why is think about your audience. Why is this race so important? We need to win the House. All of that. Winning over people who feel like they are left behind by the party. Flipping a district, all of that I think is really strong. Talking about showing up for working people, affordability. Bob, feel free to prompt Pete with a question of why this race, why here in the Lehigh Valley, and we will interject if needed to like do a little directing, but mostly we're gonna be completely
Directing.
Cool. Okay. And we can just address each other, right?
You can just
you're
look
like,
at
I'm
each
here
other.
with Bob.
No,
Okay.
you're just talking to each other.
And-
Pretend there's no camera.
And remind me the district number. Randy.
Jeez. He doesn't even know the district
Seven.
number.
Seven. Okay. All right. Well, cheers.
Yeah. You're so authentic. This is why they hate President Trump. Because President Trump doesn't need coaching on how to be authentic. All right. Being authentic means you make mistakes. Being authentic means you get to say things that people don't like. But if it's your position, you stick to it. Okay. That's what real authentic men do. Okay. We're sticking to the Father's Day theme. Okay. We are seeing the Democrat Party essentially expose what they really are, who they really are, and we continue to run into the insanity of their position. Now, here is Representative Harriet Hageman, who essentially is saying everything that we've been thinking for a long time, okay? She says cisgender is a made-up word. It means nothing, okay? Now, we all know that. You know it, I know it, okay? The people who want to create these words and force us to adopt them hate it when we call them out and ask them, okay, when was this word created? All right, it was created by committee. It was created by the experts in the intelligentsia who want us to line up to their wisdom. They want us to cower and line up to their wisdom. They manufacture new words and force us to use them. And then they try to insult us using those words. Now, kudos to Harriet Hageman because she calls them out in this video. Have a listen.
The fact is that all you need to do to determine sex is a cheek swab. If you're an XX or an XY, you're either a boy or a girl. It's that simple. This isn't complicated. It's not like we haven't known what women and men were for not just a matter of years, but
millennia.
decades and centuries and thousands of years before that. The fact that we're having this conversation and this debate just absolutely epitomizes the left's ongoing effort to rewrite the English language in order to change the debate and destroy civil order. Cisgender is a made-up word. Cisgender that means nothing. Do not call me cisgender. I am a woman. This gentleman sitting next to me, he is a man. That's who he is. That is what our title is. That is what we have been described throughout history. This bill does nothing to prohibit men from competing in men's sports. I will repeat, this bill does nothing to prohibit men from competing in men's sports. It does prohibit men from competing in women's sports. It is that simple. All we have to do is look at what happened during the Paris Olympics, where we watched a dude beat the hell out of a woman in a boxing match, and we have people on the other side of the aisle who actually believe that that is okay. That man is not a woman. He has been tested repeatedly. That is a man, and he will not be allowed to compete against women in the future because he is a man. We do not want men beating up women. We do not want men in women's soccer or volleyball or basketball or rugby or swimming or any other athletic competition. This isn't difficult. All you need to do for any kind of determination for sex is a cheek swab. The fact that you guys are talking about doing these inspections of people and the fact that the Boxing Association used to do that, that's sick. That is sick.
And they call us bigots. And the tolerant, non-racist left will call someone like me uneducated. All right, they will post in the comment section, educate yourself. Okay, they're trying to not be racist while being racist. All right, so this is something that is ringing true today because it's Father's Day. Okay, we are not non-birthing persons. It's not a non-birthing person's day. All right, it is Father's Day. Okay, so once again, happy Father's Day to everyone. Gardening Gardening is asking, hope everyone else had a great day too. Well, I had a great day. And then a few minutes leading up to the live stream, I had to be a dad. So kids are awake, kids are running around. My youngest was in here trying to just hang out. And I said, hey, dad has to go to work. Okay, so go to bed. So it was a great day. I would say it was a great day. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Okay, the elephant in the room. Now, who is the elephant? Who is the elephant in the room? All right, President Donald J. Trump. Okay, everywhere you go and everywhere I go, it's as if people are classified by whether they are a Trump supporter or they are an anti-Trump person. Right now, this video is I would say this is essentially a Father's Day recognition to President Donald J. Trump. All right. So happy Father's Day to President Donald J. Trump. I didn't prepare a photo. I didn't prepare anything to highlight how much of a solid dad that President Trump has been. Tony says, happy Father's Day, especially for me because I birthed a baby last night. Okay, more information on that, okay? Well, congratulations, Tony. Congratulations because you birthed a baby. And Tony is a granddad, okay? So happy Father's Day, Tony. All right? Now, feedback. Do you guys like the effects? Because I like the effects. It kind of it livens up the place, okay? And then it lets me know that you guys are feeling the energy in the room. And Intergalactic Wrangler, once again, in the chat. The thing with fathers, okay, the thing with dads is we like our power tools. We like our toys, all right? We like our toys. And I found a new toy. I've been wanting to do this for months. I'm like, I need a soundboard. In fact, I went shopping for a soundboard when I found this used computer that I use right now for running the live stream. So we like our toys, we like our power tools, and whenever we get a new toy, we use it until it breaks. Okay, so congratulations, fathers in the house. I like the sound of that. All right, so you guys. Okay, I'm gonna behave myself now. A bunch of people, okay, were being interviewed. I like the man on the street interviews, and a beautiful conservative woman says Trump is a true American. Now let's have a listen to this video because hey, this is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to President Trump, and let's have a listen to this.
Do you support our president? Look at these. Absolutely.
Just tell me why real quick. No, Mom.
No, I would love to tell you why. I think he's a true American. He puts God first. He loves our country. His children are amazing. And you know why, personally, that I voted for him? Because he's never had a drop of alcohol in his life. He's never had a drop of alcohol in his life.
That's restraint.
And any man that can go through what he's been through and never have a drink, I think he's amazing. He's an amazing man. He's amazing. He's so smart. He's genuine. Yes, tells it like it is. Yeah. But I'm telling you right now, I think he has America true in his heart.
Yeah, you don't regret your vote.
No, I do not regret my vote.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was born to lead.
Yes,
appreciate you.
Yeah, so happy Father's Day to President Donald J. Trump. In the chat, we have Tony. Tony is in the chat and he says, "Mothers, stop complaining. It's not that difficult. My labor pains were fine." So Tony is channeling the woke leftist ideology that men can give birth. Okay, and I think we covered a story sometime last week. I'm not sure if it was on Sunday of last week, the first live stream of the week, where we had the governor of New York signing a bill into law, essentially designating fathers as non-birthing parents and mothers as birthing parents. The left have gone insane. Okay, so while the left is insane at talking about things that are biologically proven and has been consistently recognized by everyone for millennia, they are also insane when it comes to success and the economy. Okay, here we have Adam Schiff, okay, who is fantasizing how to spend Elon Musk's $1 trillion. Let's have a listen.
A new front in the Democrats' war on success, with California Senator Adam Schiff releasing a video imagining ways to redistribute Elon Musk's $1 trillion fortune.
What would $1 trillion pay for? Well, $1 trillion, if we decided to distribute that equally among American households, your household would get $7,500. It would also pay for the complete four-year college education of 7.7 million American students. You could take 4.3 million kids and raise them from birth until 18, pay for everything they need during those 18 years.
Okay, so Musk became the world's first trillionaire last week after the SpaceX company he founded in 2002 went public. Schiff called his wealth a product of a corrupt system.
You know, the thing about the Democrats is that while they're pining and whining about Trump and his supporters who are registering success after success, they have weirdos in their camp, like Graham Plattner. Okay, Graham Plattner is this dude. In fact, I found a post that I didn't pull it up, but essentially it was really funny. The guy who made the post essentially called Graham Plattner Herr Oyster Oberfuhrer. Okay, that's yeah. Okay, Herr Oyster Oberfuhrer. He's the king. He's the Führer of the oysters, because Plattner owns an oyster fishing company, and he called him that because, of course, the Nazi tattoo. But Fox News interviewed Brandon Gill, and essentially asked him about Graham Plattner. And here's what Brandon Gill had to say about Plattner. Now, the Democrats have become the Antifa party. They are the communist, Islamist Antifa party. All right. They are communist because they are actively fighting against success that is generated because of the capitalist ethos of the United States and the West. They are the Antifa party because when you run into their voters these days, and the voters can't explain to you why they vote Democrat, what do they do next? They begin to attack you. All right, they begin to attack you. Yeah. Tony says Brandon Gill is the OG. I love that man. Well, since you love him so much, I'm going to play his video since you don't love me as much as you love Brandon Gill, guys. So let me play Brandon Gill's response to the question.
Is there a rock bottom for Democrats with Plattner? I mean, like, what would he have to do for them to denounce him at this point?
I don't think that there is any rock bottom for the Democrat Party. This is a party that's focused on nothing but power, and they will call Republicans Nazis and racists for wanting to have simply a secure border, and then they'll turn around and run a guy who has a literal Nazi tattoo on his chest, who has talked about F these cops, who has very credible allegations against him of abusing women. It goes on and on and on. Some of the stuff that he has posted online, sexual content, is far too explicit to even reference on TV. This guy is a complete lunatic, but the Democrats have stuck by him because they believe for some bizarre reason that perhaps he is the guy who can connect with working class voters in Maine, which I think shows you the massive disconnect the party has with the working class in this country. But they've stuck by him because they think that they're willing to tolerate any kind of depravity if that's what it takes to acquire power.
Yeah, like so here's what's happened to the Democrat Party. I've said it again and again. They've realized that their party has been overrun by the real Nazis. All right, the real Nazis. So you have the Nazi who brands or who is branded by the hammer and sickle of communist Soviet Union, telling you that America is evil. That's what the Democrat Party has become. So it is crazy that we're watching this, but you know what? I love it because, you know, in the past, I used to feel like there's something wrong. Why isn't everyone seeing what I'm seeing? Am I going insane? But right now, I think I'm not going insane, okay? It's turned out that a portion of the world has decided to become entertainment for us. So all we're going to do is point and laugh. Like we're about to point and laugh at James Tallarico, all right? During the same interview, he was also asked about James Tallarico. The Democrats have essentially gathered the Avengers of retards. All right. Those are the people that they have chosen to set up as the saviors of their party. AOC, Ilhan Omar, James Tallarico, Graham Plattner, and the icing on the cake, the governor of California. Okay, so look, we just have to point and laugh. And here's his response when asked about James Tallarico.
The people of Texas don't want somebody who believes that there are 6 sexes. They don't want somebody who believes that God is non-binary. They want somebody who's going to go to Washington and fight for them, not say that we should have a welcome mat on our southern border. They don't want somebody who believes that the federal government should use federal buildings to provide abortions for people. I mean, these are so far out there. But the people of Texas.
So, again and again, the Democrats continue to field weirdos. Like this guy. All right? You have this guy, Representative Al Green, okay, accusing a minority, someone who could be identified as a member of the minority community, Secretary Mullen, okay, of being a racist. Let's have a listen.
A racist, Mr. Secretary, would do what happened to Ruby.
Are you calling me a racist?
A racist.
I'm asking a question.
Reclaiming my time, asking to shut up.
That's a pretty.
Shut up.
What?
Shut up.
What?
It's my time.
What?
No, don't let anybody call me a racist, Chairman.
I never called him a racist. It's my time.
It is.
What?
Will suspend.
He will not.
Suspend.
Tell him to shut up.
Gentleman suspend. No.
What?
The gentleman will suspend.
Like, these guys are getting more and more unhinged because they feel like they're entitled to be heard. They feel like they're entitled to be heard. And what's going on is that right now, leftists everywhere are getting broken-brained because a lot of conservatives have gotten smart. They've gotten wiser because they are beginning to learn the grift. If you use the tools that they use against them, they don't know what to do about it. For example, he attacks Secretary Mullen and calls him a racist. And then Secretary Mullen is using the tool of offense against Al Green, saying, "Are you calling me racist?" And he knew he had stepped in it, and that's why he lashed out and started screaming, "Shut up, shut up, shut up." I mean, that is what we... Look, there's more. Let's see. How does a dude... I'm going to read this because, you know... How does a dude from Nigeria understand common sense more than half the American population? That's racist. Dude, That's racist. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Whenever you have people who assume, okay, because Tony knows what he's doing. Whenever you have people who assume that people from all over the world don't know what is right and what is wrong, they think that people from the third world are a monolith of retards who just swallow everything that that the white man tells them to do, and if they don't do what the white man tells them to do, they should go educate themselves. That's what the left does. That's what the left does. They think that when we vote for conservative values, when we push Christian values, when you support Trump, there's a problem with you. You must be ignorant. You must be a hick. Like Hillary Clinton said the other week, saying that most of America who voted for President Trump were ignorant hicks. It's crazy. It's crazy. Thanks for that, Tony. Gardening says, so glad we're finished with him and with Crockett. I wanted to use Croc, but I'm trying to be respectful. Okay, and it's Sunday. All right, and Crockett, Texas has had enough. I hope the rest of America has had enough of these clowns. I hope they've had enough of these clowns. Because the more we look, the crazier it gets. Okay? The crazier it gets. Now, let's look at this story, okay? Let's look at this story, and tomorrow, I'm going to play this in a bit, but tomorrow, we're going to do a bit of, we're going to look at the Algae Gate. I'm going to call it Algae Gate, even though it's not a scandal, but I'll call it Algae Gate. All right. Algae Gate is the insane, broken-brained position of the left. Okay? The Iran war isn't the big thing anymore. Epstein files aren't the same thing, aren't the big talking point anymore. Why? Because if they continue talking about the Epstein files, then the question comes up, why aren't you guys screaming from the rooftops about the 250,000 white UK citizens, girls, some as young as 4 years old, that have been assaulted, systematically assaulted and covered up by the leftist government of the UK, the police, and the press? Why? Okay? They aren't talking about it. What are they talking about? What did the press decide that was going to be the big bad boss? Okay, the final boss that the Trump administration is rolling out against the world. Trump is about to end the world. How? By cleaning algae from the reflecting pool. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Okay, so we're going to listen to this, okay, because this is a Democrat, okay, a lifelong Democrat and 20-year Minnesota state employee just dropped bombshells in front of the Minnesota House Rules Committee. All right. Now, she says she's only voted Democrat all her life, but this is a sad day for her. Now, let's listen to figure out why it's a sad day for her. All right. Keep the chats coming. Thank you, guys. You guys are... Look, Tony, thanks for the last chat. It was entertaining. Thank you so much, Gardening, for the chat.
I'm one of those whistleblowers, and I am a current state employee. And I'm also a Democrat. I've only voted Democrat.
So she's not MAGA. What? What's going on with the video? Intergalactic Wrangler, did you infect my computer again? All right, for those of you who... Okay, I'm going to have to refresh this, see if it works. Does it? Great. Okay, I'm going to... Let me see. He says, no, it's them. Yeah, well, look, they aren't going to stop us from having our show, okay? But they're not going to stop us from having our show, whoever them is, okay? Let's see. I'm going to see if I can refresh this. Okay. Now, if you're watching for the first time, please consider liking this video if you like what you see. If you like what you see, if you like the way the news is being broken down, just like the video. And if you're feeling generous, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And if you're feeling extra generous, share the video. And if you're feeling extra generous, consider donating to the channel. Okay. All right, let's go. Tony says, why do they want Americans to hate each other? They want Americans to hate each other. It's called the divide and rule principle. Okay. America is too strong for any nation to successfully bring down. I'm going to play this. Okay, it's refreshed finally. I'm going to figure out why this is happening, and I'm going to stop blaming Intergalactic Wrangler, okay? Unless it's convenient. I'm going to be a Democrat when it comes to this. I'm going to blame Intergalactic Wrangler. In fact, I'm going to call him Intergalactic Trump, okay? And he's going to be the reason why everything is bad for the live stream. So whenever something goes wrong on the live stream, it's Intergalactic Wrangler's fault. Okay, I'm gonna accuse him of it. There's nothing wrong with me. Okay, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfect. Okay. Everything that I do, my shit doesn't stink. Okay, when I fart, it's Chanel. Okay, like whenever anything breaks, it's Intergalactic Trump. Okay, so we're going to do that right now. Back to the divide and rule principle. Whenever no one country can successfully invade or attack America, and so what do? They want to destroy America from within, and that means you break the moral framework of the United States of America. Courage is a moral framework. It's a moral framework. You can't find courage on the left. You can't find courage on the left. That is why they attack the armed forces. That's why they attacked uniformed service, because they are cowards. They can't stand watching courageous people act, and so they try to shame them and belittle them and erase them from society. So military armed services, they hate the army, they hate the Marines, they hate anyone that shows courage under fire. They hate anyone who enforces law and order, who's actually out there putting their lives on the line. Okay, they hate people who do that. They like to virtue signal. The left loves virtue signaling. I am fantastic because I said so. Not because you actually did anything, but because I said so. Okay? I'm brave and courageous because my little band of nitwits called me brave and courageous. You go, queen. That's what the left is. So that's the thing, about the left. So they want to attack the moral framework that generates courage, that causes the men and the women of the United States to stand up and to defend their country. 2, cowards find a reason to be unpatriotic. They find a reason to be unpatriotic. I've been out of Nigeria for a long time, okay? I don't think I've ever, and you guys will correct me, for those of you who've listened to me for a long time, I've never said a bad word about the country. I love the country, but I hate what the people who have led the country have done to the country. All right. I love Nigeria. If the national anthem plays, my heart soars. I am a patriot. Okay. They hate patriots. And so they fill up government with crooks and thieves. So I don't want to rant. We have a few other videos to go through, but they want America to hate each other in order to destroy America from within. And we're seeing it playing out. Now, people like us who know what's going on have to speak up and have to continue to call on everyone out there who has a patriotic spirit, who has a heart to love their country. And I'm talking about you, Tony, in Australia, and everyone else out there in your countries, in Europe. I am heartbroken for Europe. Like, I have videos, maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. There's a girl from France who is making the rounds. Elon shared her video, I think that was yesterday or today. Essentially, she called out the fact that she herself had been assaulted by a migrant. And because she had the gall to call out the fact that she was assaulted by a migrant, the police had her arrested. They took her to court and they prosecuted her. She lost, and they gave her a deferred sentence and a fine, I think. This weekend, another man in his city in Europe was recording bands of Afghans in his city, in rural, I can't remember which country. They're filling up Europe with these people whose cultures are incompatible with European culture in order to phase out the natives of the land. And guess what? He took a video of it, posted it on social media, and guess what happened? The next day, the police arrested him, detained him for 48 hours. Then he was arraigned, and I think he was given a deferred, was it a 3-month sentence in jail with a 4,000 euro fine or something ridiculous like that. Maybe tomorrow we'll look at that story, okay? Because I didn't queue up those stories because most of those stories are in French or in the native language of the country. So I was like, okay, we need to do a quick beat for today. But maybe tomorrow we'll look at it. We'll look at Algae Gates. We'll look at that one. So please remind me, okay? And those of you who haven't joined the Discord server, please join the Discord server. The best way to connect with us and to remind me of these promises that I'm making is in the Discord so that I don't forget, because I like keeping my promises. I want to continue keeping my promises. So just remind me in the Discord, okay? Thank you so much. Okay, so this video is finally working. I'm going to read the rest of the chat, guys. So please keep the chats coming. I see you're posting comments in the chat. Thank you guys for keeping the chat warm. So let's watch this whistleblower.
Whistleblowers, and I am a current state employee. And I'm also
What's going on here? Guys, I don't know what's going on with these videos. What on earth is going on? It's weird. Like, we're playing the video and suddenly it just doesn't work. Okay, we're going to Intergalactic Trump. Should I blame you? All right, so let's see. I wonder why. All right, so let's go to the chat while this is resolving. I don't know why this is happening, but we're going to continue the show. The show must go on. Gardening says, okay, let me start with the first response to Tony. To keep us divided, that is why they want Americans to hate each other. Yes, Gardening, spot on. That is why we are divided by so many things, and it's all intentional. Intergalactic Wrangler says he's willing to become my pincushion. All right, so anytime I want to blame someone for things going sideways on the live stream, Intergalactic Trump has... Okay, Intergalactic Wrangler has... I hope... Well, maybe tomorrow he'll change his handle. He might... So he's going to be... He has volunteered to be the pincushion, to be blamed for every bad thing that happens in the world. Okay? Lebanon decides that they're going to allow Hezbollah to fire off rockets and drones against Israeli troops in their buffer zone. And then they kill 4 soldiers. And then Israel retaliates, and then the ceasefire goes sideways, and suddenly it's Trump's fault that Iran's proxies are still acting like animals and the ceasefire is in jeopardy, or that there's a peace deal that's meant to be signed in Switzerland and the Iranians show up, act like absolute thugs, and walk out of the room, and then you have creatures, I'm going to be polite, saying that, look at Trump. He said that they had the upper hand, and look at how the Iranians treated them. The same creatures are going to come up tomorrow when bombs start flying again to say, oh, Trump is such an evil warmonger. Trump is pushing for peace. The people out there don't want peace. They spit in the eye of the United States, insult the vice president, act like total savages, and yet it's Trump's fault. Okay, let's see. Third time's the charm. If it doesn't play, we're going to move on.
Democrat. And that's why I think this is a really sad day for me. I consider myself a very loyal person. I have worked at the state agency I'm at for 20 years. I believe I've had 3 jobs since I graduated from college. I've lived on the same block for 20 years. I'm kind of a ride or die person. So at some point in that period of time in 2019, there was a poster put up at the agency, and it had 3 names on it. It was one of those posters that was sort of that, if you see something, say something kind of thing. And there was 3 names on the poster that we were to contact if we had concerns about fraud, waste, or abuse. And so I was working with those 3 people. And over the next year, those 3 people really made my life about as miserable as it could be. That was a period where my son was young. He's a teenager now. He's with me. But he was young at that time, and I used to sit on the front step of my house and cry because I didn't want him to see me cry. Because you don't want a young kid to see that. And those 3 names. Okay, let me just talk about those 3 names. One is our ethics officer in the agency I work at. She called me to tell me that if I spoke in front of the legislative committee, that I would likely be fired. So that's our ethics officer. Then at that time, chief compliance officer, now our commissioner, she had me involuntarily transferred to a different position to get me out of where I was. She called me on a Saturday along with our HR representative and told me that when I returned to work the next week that I had a new job. And I said, do I have any choice? And the answer was no, it's this or nothing. And the third person on that list, who was our director of auditing, so he's an auditor, he completely outed me. I reported fraud to him, and what he did is call up the person I was reporting on and said, Faye Bernstein just told me da-da-da-da about you, just completely outed me, which, as you can imagine, led to more of me crying on my front step.
So the Democrat Party, this is how they treat whistleblowers. Unless the whistleblower is attacking Trump, okay, but if the whistleblower is reporting actual crimes, actual fraud, even if the person is a lifelong Democrat, this is how they attack them. All right. Now, we heard for months from the leadership in Minnesota, Tim Walz, Ellison, everyone who could breathe and was a Democrat in Minnesota, and even CNN claiming that there was no fraud in Minnesota. Tim Walz said anyone who was investigating fraud was a white supremacist. So let's get this right. Law and order is white supremacy. That is the Democrat Party. Now, Stephen Miller, I'm going to skip over to this story because it's connected. Stephen Miller has said on Hannity that the Democrat Party is the party of crime. because of essentially another frontrunner of the Democrat Party, El Sayed, calling for the abolition of ICE. Let's have a listen.
Isn't that the guy that was out campaigning with Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11?
Look, the Democrat Party, Sean, as you've covered better than anybody, has become a party of Marxist, communist, socialist, violent extremists, and yes, violent revolutionaries who support the policies that are getting Americans killed en masse, historically for many years now, and of course it accelerated under the Biden administration, by criminal illegal aliens. This is a party that supports violence against ICE officers, supports violence against federal law enforcement, and engages in conduct and rhetoric and behavior that leads to repeated assassination attempts against President Trump, against President Trump's supporters, and against Republican elected office holders. It is a terrifying reality, but one we cannot turn away from, ignore.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at Stephen Miller's take, okay? I'm gonna bring you all into the joke, okay? I'm busy trying to catch up with the chat to figure out, okay, so what did I miss while I was talking and trying to figure out the video? And then you have Gardening saying this to Intergalactic Wrangler. Bad Intergalactic Wrangler. Shame, shame, shame in liberal tones. Gosh, the Democrat Party, the left, has just become a laughing stock, and they take themselves seriously. They take themselves seriously. Like I'm trying to comprehend how anyone can take the Democrat Party or anyone that leans far left seriously. But they do. They take them so seriously. Okay, I don't want to preview tomorrow's show, so I'm going to keep it to myself. But Algaegate, which takes me to the next thing, the next thing that Gardening says. Okay, so Gardening essentially was trying to, again, it's an inside joke, okay, because I think last week we were trying to figure out the pronunciation of algae. Now I call it algae, okay, and then she spells it algae. Algaegate, you say? So that cracked me up, okay? That cracked me up. So that's what I was laughing about, okay? Now while I'm in the chat, okay, guys, while I'm in the chat, okay, and I'm grateful to all of you who are patient with all of the technical snafus, the inside jokes, the laughing. You get to hang around and and hang like a fly on the wall to watch what's going on the live stream. But if you're new here, and if you've not put in anything in the chat before, or if you're new here, please consider joining the conversation in the live chat. All right, there's no rules as to what that you have to have been watching for a while before you chat. Most of the people here who are chatting started chatting from day one. All right, from day one they started chatting, and they've become a part of the family. Okay, so like to the point where we have inside jokes now. So please, we're inviting you to come in because we want you to be part of the family. Intergalactic Wrangler says courage only arrives from facing fear and conquering it. Okay, conquering it or not. So courage comes from facing your fears, and doesn't matter whether you conquer your fears or not, but the fact that you put on your shoes and get out there and face your fears every day, that is courage. That is fantastic. Thank you, Intergalactic Wrangler. And then based on for the last video, he says, way to go, Faye Bernstein. Thank you for your honesty. Yeah, and do you know what? Videos like this are responsible for people essentially abandoning the Democrat Party and moving over to the common sense party. All right, the common sense party. Today it's the Republican Party. It's the MAGA Republican Party. And I hope they faithful to the voters who have essentially moved over to begin to vote for them. Because what tends to happen is whenever there's a party that rises in power and popularity, the weasels and the wolves begin to wear skin suits and sneak into the party because of the influence that the party has begun to amass. Did you know that Sri Thanagar, okay, the Indian Democrat who has essentially been trying so hard to gain some relevance by attacking Trump and trying to impeach him and doing so many things that are so cringe, that guy was attending Republican Party events. Okay, that guy was a fanboy of what's his name? Jeez, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He was a fanboy of Marco Rubio. Okay, so he saw that the Democrat Party was going to give him a leg up because of their DEI policies, and he jumped ship. There are people who are in politics that are only in it for power. They don't have any convictions. They just want power. They will say and do anything for power. So eventually you're going to have people who will come into the Republican Party because of the dominance of the Republican Party. And that's where we have to be careful. That's where we have to vote like our lives depend on it, because these people coming in need to be vetted by the voters, not deceived by, the voters have to be more informed. You have to be more informed about who you're voting for. What's their history? What have they done? Who are they? Okay, not vote red, no matter who, but you need to know who you're voting for. What's their track record? So that has to become a thing. Right, that has to become a thing. So thank you for the chat. Let's watch this video. I'm going to have to skip back a little because I kind of distracted everyone by my snickering.
Socialist, violent extremists, and yes, violent revolutionaries who support the policies that are getting Americans killed en masse, historically for many years now, and of course it accelerated under the Biden administration, by criminal illegal aliens. Yeah. This is a party that supports violence against ICE officers, supports violence against federal law enforcement, and engages in conduct and rhetoric and behavior that leads to repeated assassination attempts against President Trump, against President Trump supporters, and against Republican elected office holders. It is a terrifying reality, but one we cannot turn away from, ignore. We cannot put our heads in the sand and pretend the Democrat Party of the 90s or the 80s or the 70s exists anymore, because it is gone, Sean. It is gone, and it is not coming back.
Yeah.
It is gone. It is dead. How do you define it now? How do you define Tellerico, El Sayed, Plattner?
Now, he says it's not coming back, and it's just common sense. Okay, when you look at the influx of a certain class of voter, and you also look at the front runners that are being fielded, it's a reflection of the electorate that is backing that party. You look at the El Sayeds, you look at the Graham Plattners, you look at you look at the guy, Jay, what's his name, who ran for the AG of Virginia and won after he was publicly outed as wishing that the children of his opponent were killed so that he would vote differently. Like, you had those kinds of things going on, and these people keep winning. It means that there has been a significant shift in the electorate of the Democrat Party. So the party that existed in the 90s is gone. The Bill Clinton Democrats, gone. All right. I even think it died when Obama was elected. That party died when Obama was elected.
Mamdani, Bernie, Pocahontas, the Squad, and then the other Democrats, no moral courage to ever challenge them. Hillary Clinton, would you vote for Plattner?
Courage.
Well, I don't live in Maine. That's hardly, an appropriate, right?
Yes. It's look, the Democratic Party has two groups now: radical extremists and cowards. The cowards who've allowed the radical extremists to eat the party alive. Maybe they know at some level that it's wrong, that it's evil, that it's dangerous, that is leading to all this incredible violence against conservatives that we've seen. Maybe they're just too stupid, they don't know that. But you have cowards and you have extremists. And when you talk about abolishing ICE, what you are talking about is allowing every drug cartel, every Mexican criminal organization like the Sinaloa cartel, you're talking about letting every terrorist organization on planet Earth prey freely upon American men, women, and children. Worst of all, the children. You remember names like Jocelyn Nungary, where two illegal alien gang members from Trinidad were released on purpose, deliberately, by the Biden administration, and sexually assaulted and killed this precious little angel. Thousands of examples just like that. They know what happens. They know they're causing it. They don't care because they've become that extreme and that dangerous. And thank God we have President Trump in the White House, in the Oval Office, defending and protecting this nation every day. He has to fight two battles every day. He has to fight a battle against the criminals and the terrorists and the foreign enemies of this country. He has to fight a battle against the Democrats who are providing aid, shelter, and comfort to those same enemies.
Stephen Miller, you want to take a shot at what the six genders might be, or how God is non-binary, or the advocacy for trans men to have a right to abortion?
Now, he says something that is so sick, like President Donald Trump, say of him what you will. Say of him what you will. I have family that hate him. I have friends who hate him. Okay? I have people that I expect to know better who hate him. And they haven't done their research, okay? Most of them are too busy to do what I do with digging into the news. So I understand. Okay, but when you can't, for the life of me, explain to me why you hate him, then we have a problem there, because it simply means you've been told by someone to hate someone you've never met, you've never researched. Okay, you've just been told to hate him. But he's fighting on two fronts. Okay, and once again, let's recognize President Trump, and happy Father's Day to President Trump. All right. I'm being serious. Okay, yes, I put up the sound effects, the applause, but look, honor where honor is due. Honor where honor is due. We have to learn how to simply say, look, this is what President Trump has done, and he deserves respect for these things. And anyone that comes up and says that Trump is evil, and we ask them, why is he evil? And they can't even tell you why. They can't string together a sentence that articulates why they think he's evil. Then you know that they're infected by the woke mind virus. All right, guys. We're going to keep tonight's show to under an hour. All right. It's intentional. I want this to be short and sweet. All right. And you guys know how I love hanging around with you guys. Okay. But I want to keep it short and sweet. I want you guys to wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow, Monday morning. I want you guys to be well-rested. And then on Tuesdays, members-only live stream. I hope you guys can make it. I want us, the members, okay, I want to have a conversation with the members. We're going to be discussing some decisions that I'm noodling about the future of the channel, and it's going to be end-to-end conversations with you guys. And then maybe, just maybe, if there's a developing story that we need to do a deep dive into, maybe we take a look at that. But we're going to talk about the future of the channel. And remember, last week I talked about an inclusion is where we're going to have a day where the members are going to have there's going to be a members day, okay, where a member is elected from among the members, and that person is going to essentially be the star of the show, who is responsible for providing stories that matter to them, and possibly providing some thoughts and some commentary along the way during the show. So we're going to be talking about some of those things together on Tuesday noon, because we have our members only live streams on Tuesday at noon, okay, Eastern, every week. So I'm looking forward to spending that that moment with you guys. I hope you all make it. And then remember, we have the Discord server. All right, we have the Discord server. I forgot. Okay, I keep forgetting. I forgot to talk about the call-in feature today because I forgot. But then again, today was the last leg of prep for the live stream was interrupted with daddy responsibilities. So I had to be a dad, and you know, when we talk about being a father, okay, because sometimes when we celebrate mothers, happy Mother's Day and so on, we celebrate fathers, is because of the sacrifices that fathers make and mothers make. And to be a dad, you know, there's this where, okay, as much as I enjoy hanging out with you guys and live streaming and doing this, I'm doing this because I am planting the seeds for a future where this thing that I'm doing is big enough to leave an inheritance for my kids. So I'm making sacrifices. It's past 11 right now where I am. I would love to sit in front of a TV with a bowl of popcorn and watch my favorite shows. Okay, I've been thinking of going back to watch Stargate SG-1 and do the entire run. Okay, since Amazon decided to cancel the project because they were planning to restart Stargate, and they canceled it because the fans were too excited. Yeah, go figure. So I've been thinking of doing stuff like those are things that I like to do, but I'm doing this because it's a sacrifice for the kids. And many times you do these things, and it's fun to scream Happy Father's Day, but fathers out there, aspiring fathers, people who are leading in one capacity or the other, you're doing it because it's a sacrifice. And I'm glad that we were able to spend tonight's live stream honoring you and talking about a few of these stories. So I apologize that we aren't able to go further than I had hoped we would be able to go. Of course, we had the snafu, the technical issues and so on, but we got to talk in the chat. Now, the chat is frozen. I hope everyone is there. Is everyone still there, or did something break? Because usually I see you guys chatting when I'm wrapping up and saying good night. So I'm wrapping up. And you guys, thank you so much for engaging in the chat. Thank you, Gardening as per usual, for being in the chat and keeping it warm and letting everyone know what to do. Thank you, Tony, for jumping into the chat. Intergalactic Wrangler for being my pin cushion and allowing me to rebrand you as the Intergalactic Trump. Okay, look, we are simply going to point and laugh. Gardening says we are here. Thank you so much for hanging out and being there. And of course, Intergalactic Wrangler does what he does whenever we're wrapping up. He says, stay safe, everyone. Now, please, again, consider joining the Discord server. Like I said, there are things that I'm thinking about the channel. I'm planning a few things. I would like to get your feedback. Plus, I would like to provide more valuable resources and content, to you and for you. I'm working hours and hours and hours to provide value to you. Let me know how you enjoyed this show. Did you enjoy the show? Were there stories that you were expecting to be covered that weren't covered? I did promise that we're going to be jumping into Algae-gate. Okay, I hope I'm pressing the right button. Yeah, Algae-gate. Guys, I have a new toy. I'm going to use it. I have a new toy and I'm not afraid to use it. All right. Gardening says, Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. I hope everyone has a great night. If you haven't clicked that like button, please do and subscribe and come back. Thank you, gardening. I'm not going to, no, that didn't just happen. Sorry, Intergalactic Wrangler. It says my PC just crashed on my phone now. Oh my goodness. So sorry about that. Okay, guys, tomorrow, all right, tomorrow we're going to be back 9 p.m. Eastern as per usual. Thank you so much for hanging out. You guys know I love you. You guys know I love hanging out with you. You guys know my good nights are usually long drawn out because it's hard for me to leave you and say good night. But we're going to have to do it that way tonight. We have more stories to cover tomorrow, and we're going to have more fun. So please consider, once again, the link to the Discord server is in the description of this video. Click it, join in, and let's get to meet you and, connect and grow this community. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. I love you guys, praying for you. And until tomorrow night, God bless you. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, gardening says, I also hope you had a great Father's Day too. It was a good Father's Day. It was a good Father's Day. All right. Good Father's Day. Went to church, got home, had breakfast, then came up here and started coding work. I wasn't coding. I was working on something. I'm working on a business software platform, okay? Because since I can't officially work within Canada, I need to build something like a platform that people from anywhere in the world can subscribe to and essentially build up a business database. So I've been working on this for months, in fact, for years, and I just felt like I should reopen the project and see what I can do to run it. So I've been working on that. What? No. It's fine. It's fine. But thank you for asking. No one is going to shoot you. Most of them want to hear my silky voice, but we're going to have to say goodnight. All right. Officially, good night. Love you all. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.